Imagine waking up every day with a profound sense of peace, as if the burdens of the world have finally been lifted from your shoulders. Your mind feels uncluttered, free from the relentless chatter of worries, doubts, and fears that once held you back. Your heart beats with a quiet confidence, not born of arrogance but of a deep, unshakable knowing that you are exactly where you're meant to be. Now picture stepping into each moment with clarity and purpose, no longer shackled by the regrets of yesterday or paralyzed by the uncertainties of tomorrow. Each breath feels like a new beginning, a fresh opportunity to embrace life as it unfolds in its raw, imperfect beauty. Life itself feels lighter, like a gentle breeze that carries you forward, and every choice you make seems to align effortlessly with your deepest truths. What if I told you that this state of being isn't just a fleeting fantasy, but something entirely within your reach? You don't have to wait for the stars to align, nor do you need to seek it in distant lands or through material possessions. As the Buddha once said, peace comes from within, do not seek it without. These words hold a profound truth that echoes across centuries, urging us to look inward rather than outward for the answers we seek. Within each of us lies an untapped reservoir of peace, a quiet sanctuary untouched by the chaos of the world. Accessing this inner sanctuary isn't about adding more to our lives. It's about peeling away the layers of distractions, fears, and attachments that obscure it. It's about shifting perspectives, aligning with our inner truths, and releasing the grip of everything that no longer serves us. Today, we'll explore 12 powerful Buddhist teachings that have the potential to transform your life from the inside out. These teachings are not abstract philosophies meant to be admired from afar, but practical, actionable guides to living a more meaningful and harmonious life. Rooted in mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom, these principles offer a pathway to a serene existence, free from the mental and emotional clutter that often clouds our judgment and weighs us down. They are timeless, yet profoundly relevant in our modern world, where the pace of life often pulls us away from the very things that ground us. Through these teachings, you'll discover how to let go of stress, embrace life's challenges as opportunities for growth, and cultivate a sense of purpose and fulfillment that no external circumstance can take away. These teachings are not about perfection or achieving some idealized state of being. Rather, they invite us to meet life as it is, with all its messiness and unpredictability, and find peace amidst it all. They remind us that true transformation doesn't come from changing the world around us, but from changing how we relate to it. By adopting these principles, you can create a life that feels rich and meaningful, no matter what challenges come your way. So take a deep breath and allow yourself to be open to the possibilities that these teachings can bring. Today isn't just another day. It's the beginning of a journey toward a more peaceful, purposeful, and profound way of living. Together, let's delve into these 12 powerful teachings and discover how they can help you unlock the life you've always envisioned. First, imagine standing at the foot of a towering mountain, its summit obscured by swirling clouds. The path ahead is rocky, uneven, and intimidating. You hesitate, questioning whether you have the strength or endurance to climb. But what if, instead of seeing the mountain as an insurmountable obstacle, you viewed it as an opportunity, an invitation to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient with every step? This shift in perspective, from seeing challenges as barriers to embracing them as stepping stones, is at the heart of Buddhist teachings. Life is filled with obstacles, each one uniquely tailored to test our resolve, patience, and courage. In Buddhism, however, these challenges are not seen as misfortunes or punishments. They are viewed as essential components of our spiritual and personal growth. Each difficulty, be it a strained relationship, a career setback, or a deeply rooted insecurity, carries within it the seeds of transformation. When faced with adversity, the teachings urge us to pause, breathe, and ask, What can this moment teach me? By embracing obstacles with an open heart, we unlock the potential to cultivate resilience and inner strength. Imagine for a moment that every challenge you face is not an adversary, but a teacher, patiently guiding you toward deeper wisdom and self-awareness. That difficult colleague at work, they might be teaching you patience. The heartbreak you thought would break you, it could be showing you the depth of your capacity to love and heal. Even the unexpected detours in life's plans can illuminate paths you never would have found otherwise. When you approach hardships with this mindset, something profound happens. Resistance dissolves into acceptance. The heavy weight of challenges begins to shift, revealing hidden lessons and opportunities. Instead of asking, "Why me?" you start asking, "What can I learn from this?" This simple but transformative question has the power to turn even the darkest moments into stepping stones toward enlightenment. Buddhism teaches us that obstacles are not barriers. They are invitations to evolve. When we resist challenges, we often prolong our suffering, trapped in a cycle of frustration and despair. But when we embrace them, when we lean into the discomfort rather than running from it, we unlock the tools we need to rise stronger. This doesn't mean the path becomes easy, but it becomes meaningful. Each step forward builds resilience, and each hardship overcome adds to a reservoir of inner strength. Imagine a life where every setback, instead of crushing you, fuels your growth, where each failure is not the end but the beginning of a new chapter filled with possibilities. This is what it means to embrace challenges through the lens of Buddhist wisdom. It's about recognizing that life's mountains aren't meant to block our path. They are meant to elevate us, one step at a time, toward our fullest potential. And with each ascent, you not only rise above the challenges, but also gain a clearer view of the horizon, realizing how far you've come and how limitless your journey can be. Second, picture this. You're holding a delicate snowflake in your palm. It glimmers with intricate beauty, unique in its fleeting existence. But as you marvel, distracted by thoughts of what you did yesterday or what you need to do tomorrow, it melts away, leaving nothing but a cold trace of what could have been cherished. Life, much like that snowflake, is ephemeral, and yet so many of us live as though tomorrow is promised, or that the past can somehow be undone. In our fast-paced world, our minds have become time travelers, endlessly caught between reliving what's behind us and worrying about what's ahead. How often do we find ourselves replaying old conversations, obsessing over what we could have said or done differently, or letting the future's uncertainties fill us with anxiety, robbing us of the peace that exists right here, right now? This endless tug-of-war leaves us restless, unfulfilled, and blind to the richness of the present moment. Buddhism offers us an antidote to this cycle of distraction: mindfulness. More than a practice, mindfulness is an awakening, a gentle yet powerful reminder that this moment, and only this moment, is real. When you truly embrace mindfulness, you begin to understand that the past no longer exists except as a memory, and the future is but a story waiting to unfold. All you truly have is now, this heartbeat, this breath. Imagine for a moment being fully present as you savor a meal, not scrolling through your phone or racing through bites, but noticing the flavors, textures, and the effort that went into preparing it. Picture the joy of laughing with loved ones, your attention undivided, soaking in their smiles, their voices, the love that binds you together. Or think of a simple moment like standing under a sunlit sky, where you pause to feel the warmth on your skin and listen to the whisper of the wind. These moments, however ordinary they may seem, are the essence of life itself. Mindfulness invites us to immerse ourselves in these experiences, to truly live rather than merely exist. By grounding ourselves in the present, we release the weight of distractions that cloud our clarity and rob us of joy. The practice of mindfulness isn't about perfection or constant bliss. It's about presence. It's about catching yourself when your thoughts wander and gently bringing your awareness back to the here and now, like guiding a child who has strayed too far from home. When you make mindfulness a part of your daily life, something magical begins to happen. The ordinary transforms into the extraordinary. A simple walk becomes a journey of discovery. The rustling leaves, the rhythm of your steps, the sensation of your breath syncing with nature. The chatter of the mind quiets, and the noise of the world fades, revealing a profound stillness within. In this stillness, you find clarity. A clarity that allows you to see life as it is, not as your fears or desires paint it. Life, through the lens of mindfulness, becomes richer and more meaningful. Each moment unfolds like a gift, waiting to be unwrapped with curiosity and gratitude. And even in moments of pain or discomfort, mindfulness teaches us to face them with courage and compassion, knowing that they, too, are part of the ever-changing tapestry of life. By embracing the now, you not only find peace, but also awaken to the beauty of simply being. In this awakening, the world slows down, and every moment becomes an opportunity to live fully, deeply, and with profound joy. Third, imagine standing in the eye of a storm. Around you, winds howl and chaos reigns, yet in that small, still center you remain calm and unshaken. Life, with its emotional highs and lows, often feels like a storm, unpredictable and relentless. One moment you're riding the waves of joy, the next you're grappling with anger, sadness, or fear. But what if you could anchor yourself in the center, untouchable by the storm's fury? Buddhism teaches us that this is possible through the cultivation of emotional resilience. Emotional resilience isn't about suppressing your feelings or pretending they don't exist. Instead, it's about changing your relationship with them. Emotions, after all, are natural and fleeting, like clouds passing across the sky. Yet so often we cling to pleasant emotions, desperate to make them last, or we resist painful ones, hoping to push them away. Both approaches leave us at the mercy of our feelings, pulled in every direction by forces beyond our control. Buddhism offers a different path, one of mindful observation and acceptance. Imagine your mind as a vast, open sky and your emotions as weather patterns. Storms of anger, sadness, or fear may arise, but they do not define the sky itself. By learning to observe these emotional storms without judgment, you create a space between the trigger and your reaction. In that space lies your power, the power to choose your response instead of being enslaved by impulse. Picture yourself in a moment of anger. Someone has wronged you, and the heat of frustration burns within. Without resilience, you might lash out, fueling the fire with words or actions you'll later regret. But with mindfulness, you pause. You notice the anger, acknowledge its presence, and allow it to be without acting on it. In that pause, you see clearly the anger isn't who you are, it's a temporary visitor. And like all visitors, it will leave if you don't invite it to stay. Over time, this practice of observing your emotions without becoming entangled builds an inner stability that's unshakable. You begin to respond to life's challenges with wisdom and grace rather than reacting impulsively. Sadness no longer drowns you, fear no longer paralyzes you, and even joy, while cherished, is no longer clung to out of desperation. You learn to flow with the rhythms of life, embracing its ups and downs with equanimity. This emotional resilience doesn't mean you become detached or indifferent. On the contrary, it allows you to engage with life more fully. When you're no longer afraid of your emotions, you can face them with courage and curiosity. Anger becomes a teacher, revealing unmet needs or boundaries that must be addressed. Sadness becomes a reminder of love and connection. Fear becomes an opportunity to grow beyond your comfort zone. Every emotion, no matter how difficult, becomes a stepping stone toward greater self-awareness and inner peace. Cultivating emotional resilience also strengthens your relationships. When you can navigate your own emotions with clarity, you become more understanding and compassionate toward others. Instead of reacting defensively in conflicts, you listen. Instead of being overwhelmed by someone else's pain, you offer support from a place of calm. This stability not only deepens your connections, but also inspires others to find their own inner strength. In the end, emotional resilience is about freedom. Freedom from the constant tug-of-war between pleasure and pain. Freedom from the narratives that trap you in cycles of regret or worry. Freedom to live fully, no matter what life throws your way. Through the teachings of Buddhism, you discover that peace isn't about avoiding the storm. It's about learning to stand firmly in its eye, calm and unshaken, knowing that the storm, like all things, will pass. Fourth, how often do you find yourself editing your actions, words, or even dreams to fit someone else's expectations? How many decisions have you made not because they felt right to you, but because they seemed to align with what others might think or approve of? This silent yet relentless pursuit of external validation can rob us of our authenticity, leaving us feeling disconnected from our true selves. In Buddhism, there is a profoundly liberating teaching. Your worth does not hinge on the approval or opinions of others. True happiness, they teach, is not something bestowed upon you by the world, but something cultivated from within. Imagine a life where you are no longer bound by the fear of judgment, where you are free to live authentically, unshackled from the shifting tides of societal norms and expectations. This isn't about disregarding others' feelings or turning a blind eye to the world around you. It's about realizing that your inner peace and happiness cannot be dictated by the judgments of others. It's about aligning your actions with your values and embracing who you are at your core. When you step into this freedom, you open the door to a life guided by courage, authenticity, and unshakable inner confidence. By letting go of the need to seek validation, you reclaim the energy once spent worrying about what others think. This newfound energy becomes a wellspring for creativity, personal growth, and pursuing the passions that truly matter to you. You begin to trust yourself, your instincts, and your unique path. And in doing so, you inspire others around you to embrace their authenticity too. Living authentically doesn't just transform your inner world, it deepens your connections with others. When you show up as your true self, you attract people who resonate with your authenticity, creating relationships built on mutual respect and genuine connection. The mask of conformity falls away, and with it, the superficiality of relationships based on pretense or expectation. The journey to letting go of external validation is not always easy. It requires mindfulness, self-compassion, and a commitment to aligning your life with your deepest values. But as you take each step, you'll find yourself standing taller, feeling lighter, and walking forward with a quiet but profound confidence. This is the power of embracing the Buddhist teaching that your worth is not defined by others, but by the light that resides within you. When you internalize this truth, you unlock the courage to be unapologetically yourself and discover a freedom more exhilarating than you ever imagined. Fifth, discipline. At first, the word might conjure thoughts of rigid rules and constraints, but in Buddhism, discipline is something far more liberating. It's not about restriction, it's about alignment. Known as right effort, self-discipline is the practice of choosing actions that resonate with your highest values and deepest aspirations, even when those choices are not the easiest ones. Imagine a life where your daily actions reflect the person you strive to become, where each decision, no matter how small, leads you closer to your ultimate goals. This is the essence of discipline in Buddhism, a purposeful effort to live with integrity, mindfulness, and intention. It's not about forcing yourself to be someone you're not. It's about consistently making choices that honor who you truly are and what you stand for. This might look like committing to daily meditation, even on mornings when the warmth of your bed tempts you to stay a little longer. It could mean nurturing healthy habits, even when convenience whispers that shortcuts would be easier. It might involve staying true to your ethical principles in challenging moments, when compromise feels like the simpler path. These acts, though seemingly small, are profound. They are the building blocks of a life lived with purpose. Each step taken in discipline sharpens your focus and strengthens your willpower. Over time, you'll notice a shift. The fleeting desires and distractions that once pulled you off course lose their power over you. Your mind becomes steadier, your heart clearer, and your actions more aligned with your long-term goals. Discipline isn't about perfection, it's about perseverance. There will be moments when you falter, and that's part of the journey. What matters is returning to your path with renewed commitment, knowing that every effort you make is a step toward a life of deeper fulfillment and meaning. As you cultivate self-discipline, you'll discover a quiet but profound freedom, the freedom to be guided not by impulses or external pressures, but by your inner compass. You'll find that the more disciplined your life becomes, the less cluttered it feels. There's a simplicity and clarity that emerges, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. In the end, discipline is not a cage, it's a key to unlocking the life you were meant to live, one of integrity, purpose, and profound joy. By embracing right effort, you step into the power to create a life that reflects your highest self, one mindful choice at a time. Sixth, mental strength often conjures images of unyielding resolve, but in Buddhism, it's not about hardening yourself against the world. It's about cultivating a mind that is calm, clear, and profoundly resilient. It's the ability to meet life's inevitable ups and downs with a sense of balance and equanimity, a skill that transforms adversity into opportunities for growth and understanding. At the heart of this practice lies meditation, sitting in stillness, allowing your thoughts to arise and fade without judgment or attachment, is not a passive act. It's a courageous exploration of the mind. As you observe the constant ebb and flow of your thoughts, you begin to understand their transient nature. Worries that once consumed you lose their grip, and you develop the ability to remain steady amidst life's turbulence. But mental strength is more than just sitting in silence. It extends into the active practice of mindfulness. In the busyness of modern life, it's easy to be pulled in 1,000 directions, caught between the regrets of the past and the anxieties of the future. Mindfulness, however, anchors you in the present. It sharpens your focus, allowing you to see situations for what they are without the distortions of fear or desire. Equally important is the practice of detachment. This doesn't mean withdrawing from life or becoming indifferent. Rather, it's about loosening the grip of attachment to outcomes, possessions, or even rigid ideas of self. When you no longer cling to the belief that happiness depends on achieving specific results or holding on to certain things, you free your mind from unnecessary suffering. Detachment allows you to embrace life as it unfolds, with all its unpredictability and impermanence. Imagine facing a setback, not with despair or resistance, but with the understanding that this, too, is part of the human experience. Instead of being overwhelmed, you find clarity, seeing the situation as an opportunity to grow, to learn, or to adapt. This is the essence of mental strength in Buddhism, the ability to navigate life's storms without losing your inner stillness. Over time, these practices, meditation, mindfulness, and detachment, build a profound inner stability. Challenges that once seemed insurmountable become manageable, and you develop the resilience to face life with courage and wisdom. Mental strength doesn't mean you won't feel pain or sadness. It means you won't be consumed by them. Through this journey, you'll discover that a calm and clear mind is not only a source of personal power, but also a wellspring of compassion. When your mind is free from the distractions of fear and attachment, you can approach others with greater understanding and kindness. This mental strength becomes a gift, not only to yourself, but to everyone you encounter. Buddhism teaches us that true strength comes not from controlling the world around us, but from mastering our inner world. By cultivating mental strength, you open the door to a life of peace, clarity, and unshakable resilience no matter what challenges come your way. Seventh, what if your daily work wasn't just about paying bills or meeting deadlines, but a reflection of who you are and what you stand for? The Buddhist principle of right livelihood challenges us to rethink our relationship with work, transforming it from a mere necessity into a meaningful expression of our deepest values. In Buddhism, right livelihood isn't about specific professions. It's about earning a living in a way that contributes to the greater good, avoids harm, and fosters integrity. This teaching encourages us to consider how our actions, even in our work, ripple outward to affect others and the world around us. It asks a fundamental question. Does your work align with your moral and ethical principles, or does it pull you away from them? This isn't a call to abandon your current job or radically change your life overnight. Instead, it's an invitation to reflect. How does your work impact others? Does it contribute positively to society, or does it perpetuate harm, whether to individuals, communities, or the environment? By becoming more mindful of these questions, you can begin to make small yet significant shifts toward greater alignment with your values. For example, you might find ways to bring more compassion into your workplace, such as treating colleagues with kindness, supporting team members in need, or advocating for ethical practices within your organization. Even in roles that may not seem inherently virtuous, your attitude and actions can make a profound difference. Imagine the transformation that occurs when your work becomes more than a job. It becomes a purpose. When you see your efforts as contributing to the well-being of others, no matter how small the impact may seem, it fosters a deep sense of fulfillment. Work ceases to be a source of stress or obligation and becomes a meaningful part of your life's journey. Right livelihood also teaches us the value of simplicity and contentment. In a world often driven by the pursuit of wealth and status, this principle reminds us that true happiness isn't found in material gains. Instead, it's discovered in living a life of integrity, where your actions align with your beliefs. This shift in perspective can free you from the relentless pressure to achieve more, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. Moreover, right livelihood has a broader ripple effect. When you make ethical choices in your work, you inspire others to do the same. Your actions set an example, creating a culture of responsibility and compassion that extends far beyond your immediate sphere. Over time, these small actions contribute to a more just, equitable, and harmonious world. For those who feel their current work is far from ideal, right livelihood offers hope, not guilt. Change doesn't have to be immediate or drastic. Perhaps you start by volunteering for causes you care about, exploring opportunities to pivot your career, or simply infusing your current role with more mindfulness and compassion. These steps, however small, are part of the journey toward alignment. Ultimately, right livelihood isn't just about the work you do, it's about how you approach it. By bringing awareness, intention, and a sense of service into your professional life, you cultivate inner peace and a profound sense of purpose. Work becomes not a burden, but a bridge between your values and your daily actions. Through this lens, every task, interaction, and decision becomes an opportunity to live in harmony with your principles, creating a life that feels not only productive, but also deeply meaningful. And in this alignment, you'll discover the true fulfillment that arises when your work is an expression of your truest self. Eighth, imagine holding onto a handful of sand. The tighter your grip, the more it slips through your fingers. This is the essence of attachment. Our instinct to cling to things, people, and outcomes in the hope that they will bring us lasting happiness. Yet as the Buddha taught, everything in life is impermanent, subject to change and decay. Clinging to the impermanent is like grasping at water. The tighter you hold, the less you actually retain. Attachment, whether to material possessions, relationships, or even ideas about ourselves, is one of the fundamental causes of suffering. When the object of our attachment changes or disappears, we're left with a sense of loss, frustration, or sadness. However, letting go of attachment does not mean apathy or indifference. It's about loving and engaging with life fully while understanding its transient nature. Consider this. When you accept impermanence, you begin to see the beauty in fleeting moments. A sunset becomes more vibrant because you know it will fade. A conversation with a loved one becomes precious because you understand its temporality. This shift in perspective allows you to embrace life as it unfolds without clinging to expectations or fearing change. Buddhist teachings on impermanence, or anicca, invite us to loosen our grip on what we cannot control. Instead of resisting life's natural ebb and flow, we learn to move with it, like a river flowing effortlessly around rocks. Meditation and mindfulness play a vital role in this process. By observing our thoughts and feelings without judgment, we notice how often attachment arises and how it affects us. Letting go also fosters deeper, more authentic connections with others. When we stop clinging to people or expecting them to fulfill our desires, we free them and ourselves from the weight of unrealistic expectations. This creates space for unconditional love, where relationships are built on mutual respect and acceptance rather than possessiveness or fear. Imagine the freedom of living without the chains of attachment. Your mind becomes lighter, your heart more open, and your experiences richer. Letting go doesn't mean giving up on life. It means stepping into it fully, with the courage to face its impermanence and the wisdom to cherish every moment. In releasing your grip, you not only free yourself from suffering, but also create the conditions for true joy and inner peace to flourish. Ninth, imagine a life where every moment, no matter how ordinary, feels like a gift. Gratitude is not just an emotion, but a profound shift in perspective, a way of seeing the world that transforms scarcity into abundance and dissatisfaction into contentment. In Buddhism, gratitude is deeply rooted in the understanding of interconnectedness, or pratitya-samutpada. It reminds us that our very existence depends on countless beings and conditions working in harmony. When you pause to consider the web of effort and care that sustains your life, gratitude naturally arises. Think of the farmer who grew the food on your table, the teacher who shaped your understanding, or even the stranger who held a door open for you. These small, often unnoticed contributions weave together to create the fabric of your life. Recognizing this interconnectedness not only nurtures gratitude, but also fosters a sense of humility and reverence for the world around you. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to negative emotions like envy, anger, and dissatisfaction. When you focus on what you have instead of what you lack, your mind shifts from a state of craving to one of contentment. This practice doesn't require grand gestures or monumental events. Simply noticing the warmth of sunlight on your face, the comfort of a kind word, or the beauty of a quiet moment can ignite feelings of appreciation. Buddhism teaches that gratitude extends beyond material possessions or personal relationships. It encompasses all aspects of life, even its challenges. While it may seem counterintuitive, Expressing gratitude for difficulties can lead to profound growth. Each obstacle teaches you resilience, each failure sharpens your wisdom, and each loss deepens your capacity for compassion. By embracing life's struggles with gratitude, you transform them into stepping stones on your spiritual journey. A daily gratitude practice can be as simple as reflecting on 3 things you're thankful for or keeping a gratitude journal. These moments of reflection deepen your awareness and train your mind to seek the positive. Over time, gratitude becomes a natural lens through which you view the world, softening your heart and enriching your relationships. Gratitude also serves as a gateway to compassion. When you appreciate the efforts and sacrifices of others, you're more likely to act with kindness and generosity. This cycle of gratitude and compassion creates a ripple effect, spreading positivity and strengthening your connections with others. Imagine living with a heart that sees blessings in every moment. Gratitude invites you to step out of the shadows of scarcity and into the light of abundance. It reminds you that joy is not found in accumulating more, but in appreciating what already is. As the Buddha taught, let us rise up and be thankful, for if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. And if we didn't learn a little, at least we didn't get sick. And if we got sick, at least we didn't die. So let us all be thankful. In this spirit, gratitude becomes not just a practice, but a way of being, a path to deeper peace, joy, and fulfillment. 10th, inner peace isn't the absence of noise, challenges, or chaos. It's the ability to remain calm and centered even as the world swirls around you. In Buddhism, inner peace is considered one of the highest attainments, not because it removes you from life's difficulties, but because it equips you to face them with clarity and composure. It's about cultivating a sanctuary within yourself, a still point in the midst of the storm. This peace begins with mindfulness, the practice of being fully present in the moment. When you focus on the now, rather than dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, your mind becomes less reactive and more responsive. Mindfulness is the gateway to understanding that much of your inner turmoil stems not from the events themselves, but from your resistance to them. By letting go of this resistance, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. Meditation deepens this practice, offering a space to reconnect with your inner stillness. In meditation, you observe your thoughts and emotions without attachment, allowing them to rise and fall like waves in the ocean. Over time, this detachment cultivates a sense of equanimity, a balanced, unshaken state of mind. It's not about suppressing your emotions, but about creating space to respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. Acceptance is another pillar of inner peace. Life is unpredictable, full of changes and challenges. By embracing things as they are, instead of clinging to how you wish they would be, you conserve your energy for what truly matters. Acceptance doesn't mean complacency. It means acknowledging reality while choosing how to engage with it. This shift from resistance to acceptance transforms struggles into opportunities for growth and healing. Inner peace also involves simplifying your life, both externally and internally. Decluttering your physical space, limiting distractions, and prioritizing meaningful connections create an environment that supports tranquility. Internally, it means letting go of excessive desires, unproductive comparisons, and the endless pursuit of more. Contentment with what you have fosters a profound sense of ease and satisfaction. When you cultivate inner peace, it radiates outward, transforming not only your well-being but also your relationships. A calm mind fosters patience, understanding, and compassion, which enhances how you connect with others. Instead of reacting with anger or frustration, you respond with kindness and wisdom. This ripple effect extends beyond personal interactions, contributing to a more harmonious world. Imagine waking each day with a steady heart and a clear mind, ready to meet life's uncertainties with grace. Inner peace doesn't mean avoiding challenges, but meeting them with a sense of purpose and calm. As the Buddha taught, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. By embracing mindfulness, meditation, and acceptance, you create a foundation of stability that no external storm can shake. This peace isn't just for you. It's a gift you offer to everyone around you, a testament to the transformative power of calm amidst the chaos. 11th, nothing lasts forever. This truth, both stark and beautiful, lies at the heart of the Buddhist teaching of impermanence or anicca. It is a reminder that everything we experience, every emotion, possession, relationship, and even life itself, is in a constant state of change. While this reality can feel unsettling at first, it holds the key to profound liberation and inner peace. The challenge of impermanence is that it confronts our deep-seated desire for stability and permanence. We yearn to hold on to the people, things, and moments that bring us joy, fearing their loss. But clinging to the illusion of permanence only amplifies our suffering. When the inevitable changes come, when relationships shift, possessions decay, or circumstances evolve, we feel betrayed by a reality we mistakenly believed we could control. However, impermanence is not just a source of loss, it is also a gift. It reminds us to cherish each moment, knowing that its fleeting nature makes it precious. Imagine savoring a sunset, fully aware that its beauty will fade in minutes. This awareness doesn't diminish the experience, it deepens it. By embracing the transience of life, we can find greater appreciation for the here and now, making every interaction, every smile, every quiet moment more meaningful. Accepting impermanence also frees us from fear. Much of our anxiety stems from resisting the inevitability of change, whether it's the fear of losing loved ones, the dread of aging, or the uncertainty of the future. But when we embrace impermanence, we begin to see change not as a threat, but as a natural part of existence. It is through change that growth, renewal, and transformation become possible. The caterpillar becomes the butterfly, the winter snow gives way to spring, and each ending makes space for a new beginning. This teaching also empowers us to let go of attachments that no longer serve us. Whether it's a material possession, a toxic relationship, or an outdated belief, clinging to what has outlived its purpose only weighs us down. By releasing our grip, we create room for new opportunities, connections, and insights. Letting go is not about apathy or detachment. It's about making space for what truly matters. Impermanence also teaches us resilience. When we face loss or hardship, the knowledge that this too shall pass provides comfort and perspective. It doesn't erase the pain, but it reminds us that no state, whether joy or sorrow, is eternal. This understanding gives us the strength to endure difficult times, knowing that brighter days will eventually return. In relationships, the awareness of impermanence encourages us to be fully present with those we love. Knowing that our time together is limited makes us more intentional, more attentive, and more grateful. It helps us prioritize what truly matters, letting go of trivial grievances and savoring the moments of connection. The practice of embracing impermanence also extends to our sense of self. Buddhism teaches that the self we cling to, our identity, roles, and achievements, is not a fixed entity, but a constantly evolving process. By letting go of rigid notions of who we are, we open ourselves to growth and self-discovery. We become more adaptable, more compassionate, and more aligned with the flow of life. To fully integrate the teaching of impermanence, mindfulness is essential. Through mindfulness, we train ourselves to observe the ebb and flow of life without judgment. We notice the rising and falling of our breath, the shifting of our thoughts and emotions, and the impermanence of everything around us. This practice helps us stay grounded in the present, where life is truly lived. Impermanence is not a source of despair, it is a doorway to freedom. By accepting that nothing lasts forever, we free ourselves from the need to control the uncontrollable. We learn to live with grace, gratitude, and openness, embracing each moment as it comes. And in doing so, we discover a life that is richer, deeper, and more fully alive. 12th, the ego, the voice in our minds that declares I, me, mine, is often the root of our suffering. It weaves a narrative of separateness, convincing us that we exist as isolated entities, disconnected from the world and those around us. This illusion of individuality, while necessary for navigating daily life, often becomes a prison. It fosters pride, insecurity, comparison, and conflict, trapping us in cycles of longing and dissatisfaction. Buddhism teaches that the self we cling to so fiercely is an illusion. What we perceive as I is not a fixed entity, but a constantly shifting amalgamation of thoughts, feelings, memories, and experiences. The self is like a flame, not a singular unchanging object, but a dynamic process in constant motion. This understanding doesn't negate our existence, but invites us to see it through a wider, more liberating lens. Letting go of the ego is not about losing your identity or denying your individuality. Instead, it's about transcending the rigid boundaries that the ego creates, those walls that separate you from others and from the flow of life itself. By releasing the need to define, defend, and elevate yourself, you open the door to a profound sense of connection, peace, and freedom. Humility is a cornerstone of this practice. The ego thrives on a sense of importance, feeding off recognition, praise, and superiority. But when we embrace humility, we recognize that we are but one thread in the vast tapestry of existence, no more or less important than any other being. Humility softens the ego's grip, allowing us to approach life with openness and curiosity rather than defensiveness and pride. Compassion is another powerful antidote to the ego. The more we focus on the needs and experiences of others, the less consumed we become by our own desires and grievances. Compassion dissolves the barriers between self and other, reminding us that we are all interconnected, bound by shared struggles and aspirations. When you cultivate compassion, you shift from a self-centered perspective to one of unity and empathy, weakening the ego's dominance. Selfless service, or dana, is one of the most practical ways to let go of the ego. By dedicating your time, energy, and resources to helping others without expecting anything in return, you step outside the confines of what's in it for me. Acts of generosity expand your sense of self, revealing the joy that comes from contributing to the greater good. Over time, these small acts of giving transform the way you see yourself, not as a solitary being, but as an integral part of the whole. Letting go of the ego also involves embracing vulnerability. The ego seeks to protect itself, constructing walls of invulnerability and perfection. It fears failure, rejection, and exposure, leading us to hide our true selves. But true strength lies in acknowledging our imperfections and opening ourselves to the world as we are. Vulnerability fosters deeper, more authentic connections and weakens the ego's grip on our lives. The practice of non-attachment plays a crucial role in transcending the ego. The ego often ties itself to identities, roles, achievements, and possessions, claiming them as part of who we are. But these attachments create suffering when they are threatened or lost. By practicing non-attachment, you free yourself from the need to derive your worth from external markers. You learn to engage with life fully while remaining unattached to outcomes, possessions, or accolades. Meditation is perhaps the most powerful tool for observing and dissolving the ego. In meditation, you sit with yourself, noticing the endless stream of thoughts and emotions that arise. Over time, you realize that these mental events are not you. They are transient, like clouds passing through the sky. This realization creates space between your awareness and the ego, allowing you to see through its illusions. Contemplating impermanence also weakens the ego's hold. The ego clings to the notion of permanence, believing that our identities, possessions, and relationships are fixed and enduring. But when you deeply understand the impermanent nature of all things, including the self, the ego's illusions lose their power. You begin to flow with life's changes rather than resist them, finding peace in the transience of existence. Letting go of the ego is not a one-time event, but an ongoing practice. The ego is clever, often reasserting itself in subtle ways, even in spiritual pursuits. It may whisper, "Look how humble you've become," or "Your compassion makes you better than others." Recognizing these traps requires continuous mindfulness, self-awareness, and a commitment to living authentically. As you let go of the ego, you discover a deeper sense of self, not the isolated I, but the interconnected essence that flows through all beings. This expansive sense of self is at peace with the world, free from the need to compare, compete, or control. It allows you to live with grace, openness, and a profound sense of belonging. In dissolving the ego, you don't lose yourself. You find your truest nature. You awaken to the reality that you are not separate from the world, but a vital part of its unfolding. This realization is the essence of liberation, the path to lasting peace and fulfillment.